Hello and welcome back again to my channel. So as I promised, I'm here with another video, and this video is catering for students who are preparing for the SCA 2025 exam, and I'm going to be focusing on the mathematics area, giving you tips that you could be able to allow your child to excel and be at their peak performance when it's time for the exam in April. And I'm going to give some of these tips, and they may be in random order, so you could just take out what you want and leave what you don't need. And we're just hoping for the best and the success for each child ahead of the exam. So if you see me looking away, it's because I'm revising or reviewing any notes that I have to ensure that I don't miss anything that's really important for you and beneficial for your child. So the first thing I want to say is set aside a timetable. Have a before school timetable and an after school timetable, which may include any extracurricular activities that your child may have. Ensure that you sit with them and you plan out that timetable so they know if it is that they're going to spend, whether it's 20 minutes revising in the morning and 1 hour revising in the afternoon, not inclusive of homework. 2, set aside a specific area in your house or in the bedroom that the child would know that that's the allocated space for them to sit down and revise and prep for exams, schoolwork, anything like that. Besides that, I want to mention that when it is that you're creating for the SCA exam, the multiplication, the division problems all go up to the 15 timetable. So my advice to you is to ensure that your child knows up to their 15 timetables. Ensure that they can skip count in 2, 3 up to 15. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. They're going all the way down to 15, and they're going all the way up to the timetable 15, being able to count. When it is that they are familiar with this and they see a sum presented before them and they know this content, it cuts down on the time that they may spend dwindling trying to calculate using their fingers to solve the problem, because they know this information in their head. I also want to revise and reiterate to say that you should recap the shapes: 2D shapes, 3D shapes, circle, square, triangle, cube, cuboid, sphere. What plane shapes make up a triangular base prism? Review parallelograms and review these things, because you might think that they know it because they covered it previously. They may not. And if it is that you can find 3D shapes in your home that is a replica of some of these solids, it would go a long way, because when it is that you may ask them, how many faces, edges, or vertices does a cube or cuboid have? They will be there thinking. But if it is that they have the actual solid, they can count it and give you the correct answer. And once it is that they learn these things, they practice these things, they have that hands-on experience with it, then you would not have a problem. What I want to say is also introduce them or recap the vocabulary that of the words that you would find in the mathematics examination. Arrange, circle, underline, sequence, value, fraction, decimal, percentage, rate, time, principle. All these things, if it is that they are not familiar with the vocabulary and they see it in the exam, they become confused and they don't know, what should I do here? Formulas are really important. Area of a square, perimeter, VAT. How much is VAT? VAT is 12.5%. 12.5 as a fraction. What is it? 12.5 as a fraction is 1/8. Ensure that they know these things. Fractions, being able to convert from fractions to decimals to percentages. You may take it for granted. These things are in different books. You can Google it, you can research it, print it out if you need, write it out if you need. Get them to sit down and revise these things. Once they can say it off the back of their head, it would increase the speed that they would be able to respond to math, to get to complete the mathematics problems, because remember, mathematics is 75 minutes and you have 3 sections to complete, and the third section carries the most marks, and you want to maximize on the marks that you can get from the entire paper. I also want to say, practice a lot of past paper booklets, whether it is that you're purchasing different past paper booklets, whether it is that you're pulling down SCA papers from online, whether it is that you're going to purchase the different booklets that combine together and work on it. Practice makes perfect, and mathematics, to pass it or ace it, you need to practice a lot. I also want to say division. Ensure that you know how to do your multiplication. Ensure that you know how to do division. Ensure that when it is that you're practicing subtraction and addition, you remember regrouping of the numbers, because sometimes children would add and they would not remember to add in the extra numbers that would have been left outside for them to add in. So they know the concept, but they are forgetting those fine key skills to getting the correct answer. What I also want to mention is clock. If it is that you see the child is having a problem with clocks, you draw 2 clocks. So I have 2 miniature clocks, and we set the time here, and then you calculate the time manually, and then you put the time on the next clock. Ensure that they know how to convert the time. So I went for a walk, I left home at 11:30, I walked for an hour and 15 minutes. What time did I return home? You may have the 2 clocks there. Let the child set the time 11:30, let them calculate the time manually, or they could carry the time, the hands around, and work out the conversion of it. Remind them, long hand is the minute hand, short hand is the hour hand, seconds hand is the one that goes around really quickly. 60 seconds make a minute. Revise all those things with them. Remind them counting 1 to 12, but you're counting in 5s. 1 is 5, 2 is 10. Remind them all those things. Remind them of clockwise, anti-clockwise, because they're gonna ask you questions based on angles. If it is that it's now 12:15 and the clock moved to 12:30, what degree of angle was it? They may ask you those kind of questions. What turn was it? Vocabulary, revise it. The concept, remind them. So when it is that you're home and you're practicing with them and it's easy clockwise question, demonstrate. Show me clockwise. Show me anti-clockwise. Because once they know these things and they can regurgitate it, they would be acing the maths exam. And remember, maths is one of the key things that you need, and you want high marks in it. If it is that you see that your child is struggling in mathematics, it's not too late to get them into a class or get resources to assist them to ensure that they would maximize and meet their full potential. Right, so therefore you would know your child, you would know their strengths, you would know the weaknesses, you would know where it is that they are struggling. You can sit and work with them hand in hand. Some parents may not be able to provide classes for them, but just showing up and showing a key interest would play an important role in that child to know that someone is holding them accountable for their performance. The teacher did a test, the teacher may have done some weekly tests, a practice test booklet, something, and they send home to say, we would have sent back the results. Ask them for it. You may not understand the mathematics because it would have changed, but ask. Show up, ask questions, pay attention to it. Mr. didn't give any homework today, ask the question. Child might be bluffing. Child might just not be interested in doing the homework. Alright, I'm going to ask Miss. If it is that the child realizes that the parent is continuously invested and interested in what it is that they are doing, they are going to pull themselves together to ensure that they produce great results in the exam. So I'm going to be coming with 2 other videos, one to cater for the creative writing aspect, tips that you can do to improve it, and I'm going to also come with one on the ELA and ways that you can improve it. If by chance you have any questions, because I may have forgotten to include anything, let me know. Oh, and what I also forgot to mention, time the child. You know that the exam is 75 minutes. Time them. Said, all right, I'm going to leave you with this test paper. I'm giving you 75 minutes, because they need to know how to focus and complete the assigned task. Because if you don't time them from now, and they're just getting timed in school, or they're just getting timed the day of the exam, then they would not know how to prepare or how to structure and balance their time to ensure that they get their full potential on the mathematics test paper. So thanks again for tuning in. Remember to like, share, comment, and I'll see you in another video. Bye everyone.